Hello everyone and welcome back to Desktop Dungeons. Like I said last time, I want to do a quick dungeon run to show off Mystera because the previous one really didn't show her off very well. And so to do that, I've upgraded the church to level 2. I did that on a previous attempt at this video, but it was yet last night after the previous video, and I was so tired that I just couldn't do it. I was complete garbage. So I've upgraded the church specifically to allow the preparations that let you prepare an altar. Now what this does is that it will spawn the altar of your choice at the start of the dungeon, so near the stairs. Sometimes there's a wall or an enemy in front of them, but that's fairly rare. But it does give you a penalty. Like for instance, if you prepare Torog, it makes all enemies cowardly, like that troll we saw in the previous video. So you have to work around that. Sometimes you'll want to just prepare the knockback item to use that to your advantage. Well, not use that to your advantage, but to nullify it. But anyway, this is the mod Torog. Mystera really only just slows her piety gain, and since you get her at the start, and the main way you get piety with Mystera is by casting glyphs, really it's barely a penalty. It just forces you to be more efficient in how you gain piety with her, and so on. So, we're just going to go into Venture Cave. And we're going to be a fighter. Yes, let's do that. And we're going to be a gnome fighter because most classes, when they worship Mystera, prefer to be a gnome than an elf. And the reason for that is in one of her boons. So we're going to prepare it, and we'll just take bet on boss like last time. It's just a habit to take. So, and we start right next to Brenda, as that's actually very lucky when you're planning on worshipping Mystera. So we grab that, worship her immediately, and then we start casting glyphs. Doesn't matter if we're planning on like attacking that monster just yet. Just spend your mana as you explore, because the amount of piety you gain through Mystera is basically limited by the black space you have left, because that limits how much mana you have left to spend. And so instead of wasting that mana early on, we can just continuously spend it to gain piety. And so let's go over Mystera's boons again. So we have magic. The first shot is 5 piety, as you can see, and that's almost free. There's no reason not to take it. Second one is 25, and with how fast Mystera's piety can climb, it's usually worth taking. That also lets you hit a 15 mana threshold, which is really nice, and synergizes with another boon we'll talk about soon. Now, refreshment. This is one of the main boons, you might say. Anytime you convert a glyph, any glyph, you'll restore half of your mana, well, 50%. So yeah, obviously very nice way to like get some extra mana to take down a powerful monster or against a boss. This is, by the way, this is why we're being a gnome instead of an elf. Basically the idea is that although it sounds awesome for an elf, because you'll have a huge mana pool, the thing is you need to convert those glyphs to get the mana pool in the first place. So ultimately you're not getting that much from refreshment out of being an elf, whereas as a gnome, you convert glyphs to get extra mana, and you also get potions that get you also extra mana, and it's... I just find it adds up nicer that way. I mean, as an elf, obviously you can buy stuff from the shops to convert, and convert those things, and so on, but it's a bit more work, and ultimately I just find that gnomes line up with Mystera better. You just get more out of your class trait. I haven't gone on to the next ones, right? So Flames decreases your attack bonus by 50% to increase the power of your fireball by 1 per level. In other words, here I'd be dealing 5 damage at level 1, 10 damage at level 2, and so on. It's not a huge boost, and the 50% attack bonus is a big deal. So this isn't something you want to take every time. This is a boon that you'll take if you literally have no more use for your physical attack. And that's rarer than you think, because even though you might not be planning on attacking a boss physically, you can still use your physical attack to kill lower level monsters to level up and so on. So think carefully before you grab that. It's very much a double-edged sword, and more often than not it's not worth it, but when you do want it, it's very nice. Weakening. Decrease enemy magic resistance by 10%, but also your own magic resistance. Very nice when you start playing as a caster, get Mystera, and then find out that your boss has a lot of magic resistance. Usually you won't want to use it to remove all magic resistance, because 30 piety, I mean, you can repeat it, but, you know, the 30 piety adds up. Like, if you're fighting Lord Gob, who only has 20 magic resistance, if you can use the mana to get Mystic Balance or Refreshment, for instance, then usually, like, Weakening isn't really worth it unless you have nothing else to spend your piety on. But otherwise, like, if you're playing as a primary spellcaster and you find that your boss is going to have a lot of magic resistance, then lowering resistance by 20 or even 30% can have a very nice positive impact on your chances of winning the dungeon. And finally, Mystic Balance. Alglyph ability costs are either increased or decreased by 2 towards an average of 5. So this is, again, a bit of a double-edged sword. The most obvious use of this is that it makes your fireball cost 5 mana, just like the wizard. And so if you take 2 shots of magic of this boon here, then you'll have a max of 15 mana at the end of all the boosters, so you get 3 fireballs per full mana pool. Very nice. And then, but you have to consider also what other glyphs you're using. For instance, if you're using Get In There, then it increases the cost from 3 to 5. Now, Get In There is so good that, that still makes it worth it, but if you're primarily relying on it, then sometimes you might want to wait off before using Mystic Balance, if you want to use it at all. That being said, a glyph like Wait What goes from 8 mana to 6 mana, so that makes getting a first strike against something like a goblin a lot more worthwhile, basically. It makes it easier to reach that if you just regenerate a little bit and so on. So yeah, it's one of the main boons. You'll pretty much get it fairly often. I like to get it first so I can quickly chuck lots of fireballs and then get refreshment later when I'm getting ready to fight the boss, but really which order you're taking these boons depends on how what your strategy is and how things are going at the moment. Like, if you're finding that you want to take down a high-level monster early on, and Mystic Balance isn't going to increase the amount of fireballs, but Refreshment is going to let you get an extra fireball or 2 in to get that high-level kill, then maybe it's worth it taking earlier on. Anyway, so that's enough of me ruminating on the different boons. You can eventually get kind of in a routine once you get used to preparing Mystera, so take 2 magics, then Mystic Balance, then Refreshment, maybe Weakening. So she's really quite fairly straightforward. You just start worshipping and then cast glyphs all the time, forever. Now, there are 2 ways to lose piety with Mystera. You lose piety if you kill a magic user, so that's a wraith like this one. The warlocks are also magic users, and there are other monsters and so on. And also getting mana burn. Now, getting mana burn doesn't have a fixed piety cost. Well, it does, but it's a bit more complicated. You get 1 piety loss whenever you get mana burn, plus 1 piety for every point of mana that gets drained when you get mana burn. So if I were to attack this wraith right now, I would get 1 plus 12 piety penalty, so I'd be down to 2. Be careful, because if in doing so I killed the wraith, then I would also lose 5 piety for killing it, and I get punished. Mystera's punishment isn't quite as bad as Torok, but you still want to avoid it. She basically gives an extra 50% buff resistances to all monsters on the field and in sub-dungeons. So yeah, getting punished by that once is bad, but you can usually work around it. But it repeats. If you constantly get the punishment, it'll add to 30 and 45 and so on. So, as with any god, be very wary of getting punished. With that said, I can still kill this wraith. So let's do that. There's nothing I can actually. What I'm going to do also is take 1 hit from this level 3 Meatman, so I can leverage this bonus experience and fight Meatman the regular way. So as you can see, piety is climbing quite nicely. So one thing to consider, obviously, when you're playing as with Mystera, is the earlier you start worshipping her, the more valuable she is. Because if you start worshipping her and like have the dungeon is explored, then that's that much less potential mana to spend to gain piety on her. So you won't be getting the full force. You might get either refreshment or mystic balance, and maybe a couple hits of magic. But you have to keep that in mind. Don't start worshipping her at the very end unless you're converting in from another altar. Alright, let's level up. I'm just going to check fireballs at this guy. In fact, I might as well just take this extra hit of magic right away. Usually the 45 mana extra one is not worth it. There are a few glyph combos that make it worth it, even with Mystic Balance. As far as I know, off the top of my head, maybe I'm wrong about that. But for the cost, you're usually better off getting Refreshment and or Mystic Balance. Ooh, get in there. Yeah, see, that's one of those glyphs that are affected by Mystic Balance negatively. Do think about it if you're planning on using Mystic Balance and you find this glyph. I will use get in there a few times just to build my dodge chance like I like to do. Well, you know, or that can happen. Now we have a level 4 snake and a level 6 Gorgon here. I don't know if I can take on that level 6 Gorgon, but maybe if I let myself grab a mana potion. I mean, unfortunately, I do. I could tank one hit from her with this health pendant, so that might be worth considering. And obviously, as a gnome, I can totally afford to. I can totally afford to use a mana potion or even two to net a higher level kill. And while I wouldn't normally use a potion or two on a 3 level higher monster, as a fighter, since I don't really have any combat traits to speak of, but I get a lot more experience a lot faster, I'm willing to do that for a 3 level higher kill because it's that much more valuable. I will happily stag braining. Oh, and well, we got this health booster, so I don't even think we're going to need the that's mildly annoying. But you know what? Let's just okay, never mind. I was going to use the mana potion, but that works out just fine for me. Oh no, that won't do. Stack some burning. And Lord Grob. Hi, yeah, that's what I was talking about with the magic resist. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. There we go. So Mystera doesn't like that, but you get so much piety with her that you can afford to kill a few high-level magic users. Wraiths are especially good to kill for mages and magic users in general. So that's kind of slightly counterbalanced by the fact that Mystera doesn't like it when you kill them. Only slightly. Okay, yeah, we can regen fight this guy. Or just plain fight this guy, I guess. What happens if I... Yeah, okay. I saved myself a... How much health does this guy have compared to this guy? I have no idea if this is worthwhile at all, but I might use my gnome powers to try and take this guy on. In fact, oh, at this point I might consider converting one glyph for like refreshment and then a mana potion, but given that I want to keep these 2 glyphs right now, Mystic Balance isn't going to really help me much here, but in fact, it might actually hurt me because it's going to make get in there cost 5. I'm just going to ignore this question. I used 2 mana potions, didn't I? Yeah, that was a bit wasteful. I got cocky there and I wasn't really thinking it through very well. Oh well. I'm fine with that. I'll just, I can use my death protection, no problem. Nice bit of XP, totally worth it. So yeah. So I haven't touched Mystic Balance yet, but I'm not ready to spend piety on protection, on refreshment just yet, just because I don't really have any particularly good glyphs to convert at the moment. So I'm just going to play this as normal. Appreciate the fact that even though I've only found 1 mana booster, I can still use 2 fireballs, and this is with only 2 very cheap boons. So yeah. Like, if you find Mystera early in the dungeon, especially obviously if you haven't prepared her and you find her therefore, it's very often just worth it. Oh, I want to fight. That'll be a good glyph to convert for refreshment. Although I'm tempted to just spam it a few times to build up piety and gather some to slow some monsters. Obviously, like level 5 zombies and meatmen, wow, these are the worst monsters to want to fight. Aren't going to make great popcorn, so, but as a fighter, getting some slowed popcorn is so strong that I'm totally fine with using up a bit of exploration to gather some. Yeah, see, those are worth it. And my 2 mana boosters, so this is the point where I'm starting to really consider getting Mystic Balance. In fact, I'm so close to 100, I'll grab Mystic Balance right away, and I'll have Refreshment very soon as well. And I'm going to start considering taking on this level 9 Goblin. Maybe use a combination of mana potions and Refreshment to take him down. Again, I'm being very liberal with my mana potion because I'm a gnome. And since I'm getting so much bonus experience from high level kills, I'll have a ton of popcorn to munch on, so I probably won't even need mana potions or refreshment to take on Lord Gob by himself. I'm sure just like all the easy experience I'm gathering around here is going to be more than enough to get a couple of level ups. Oh, there we go, Pack Maker. I'm going to touch on this guy a bit later because I don't... I'm going to ignore him for now. I just have to remember to actually go to him. He's a special god. He doesn't unlock like the other ones. You'll randomly find him in dungeons 3 times, and then he'll be unlocked. After you've done that, he'll be unlocked when you've met all of the other gods. Okay, I am going to start running short on exploration space soon. So I'm just going to cast this last few times. And I'll take this guy down right now while he's still worth some bonus experience to me. That 30 dodge chance might just work nicely for that goblin. I'm a wall. Actually, yeah, let's cast this once on this guy before we take on one of these guys. How many fireballs do I need? Wait, how did I get that extra? Did I take a health booster without noticing? I think I did. Okay, whatever. Perfect. Then, so, let's get started. Alright, I'll hit him once, and it's entirely possible that my 30% dodge chance will trigger, otherwise I'll just get refreshment and then convert a glyph. Okay, it didn't. That's totally fine. So, convert, refreshment, and well, I have no intentions of using Piss Off, so I'll just go ahead and convert that, and I have the fireball I need. Perfect. Level 7, fairly close to level 8. I don't think I have a level 8 that I can fight right now, so I'm just going to kill this level 7. Mystera will be unhappy, but I did cast Get In There to make sure I wouldn't get mana burn, and I'll be just one shy of leveling up. Oh, there was a level 8 here, but whatever, I would have leveled up without wanting to anyway. So now we're ready to fight Lord Gob. Awesome. And I have just enough HP to tank a single hit from him, thankfully. So I just cast Get In There. I'll be able to convert it for refreshment if I want to. But like I said, I don't think I'll actually need to. Oh, and I dodged. Nice. So yeah, just being able to cast 3 fireballs per mana pool is very nice. And you know, I could just, you know, convert these glyphs, get more mana potions, and keep. But oh, see, I didn't slow this Gorgon. Be careful when you go around killing low-level monsters. If you trip on a Gorgon, you die, and it's annoying, very annoying. It's sad, feels bad. Alright, and you know, when you're clearing out popcorn, try to remember to avoid the magic users while you're worshipping Mystera. You can obviously kill a few and it won't matter much, but kill more than that, and yeah, there we go. So that's basically how Mystera works. So obviously this is still a relatively easy dungeon. We didn't really need her extra power to win. But, you know, a ton of resources left over, and when we start getting into trickier stuff, you might appreciate just how nice it is to be worshipping Mystera. So, actually, you know what, I'll skip, you know, to clean up. I'll just grab all the potions lying around. And meet Packmaker. Motivated for conquest, I don't know. Okay, basically Packmaker lets you choose a pact. He works independently for another god, so you can take a pact from him even if you're worshipping another. In fact, you'll want to be worshipping another god, and they're fueled by piety and they give you special effects. So here, Scholar's Pact. This is probably the strongest one, or at least the most easy to use. Whenever you level up, you lose 10 piety, but you get an extra 50% to your health bar, so I would be getting something like 170 HP or so, and might effect, so that as though you cast biceps. And when you meet him in these sub-dungeons like this, he'll just give you a random pact and disappear, but after you unlock him, which requires you to meet him 3 times and unlock every other god, he lets you choose from a list of packs and has an extra bonus. Anyway, that's it for my Mystera introduction. I'm just going to convert this because I'm a gnome and sell off all my mana potions. So see, even though I used a bunch while leveling, I still have 7. Because, you know, gnomes of Mystera are very straightforward but powerful spellcasters. And that's it. So I'll see you guys in the next video.